In the arid plains of Iraq, ancient Mesopotamia flourished between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Here, humanity built the first cities, invented writing, and developed laws, mathematics, and astronomy. The Sumerians, over 6,000 years ago, pioneered civilization and left behind mysterious stories on clay tablets. These stories spoke of the Anunnaki, powerful beings who descended from the heavens and walked among humans. The Sumerians described these gods as architects of their world, holding the power of creation and destruction. Their astronomical knowledge was astonishing, mapping constellations and tracking planets with precision. Mainstream history calls this a natural progression, but Sumerian records suggest their knowledge was a gift from the gods. They claimed the Anunnaki gave them wisdom, not that they discovered it alone. This raises a profound question. What if these stories are not just myths, but records of real events? Could the birth of civilization have been guided by an unseen hand? Did humanity have help from beings beyond our world? To find answers, we must decode the ancient whispers left on clay and confront the possibility that our origins are far stranger than we imagined. The journey into Sumer is a journey into the heart of ourselves. The Sumerians' legacy is not just history, it's the foundation of our modern world. Their stories challenge us to rethink where we came from. Are we the product of chance or of intervention? The cradle of everything may hold the key to who we truly are. The Sumerians described the Anunnaki as those who from heaven to earth came. These gods were active rulers, not distant deities led by Anu, Lord of the Heavens. They controlled nature, decreed the fate of kings, and held the secrets of life and death. The Sumerian king list claims kingship descended from heaven, with early rulers reigning for thousands of years. Some wonder if these first kings were Anunnaki or their hybrids. The gods had families, conflicts and desires. Enlil, the harsh ruler of storms. Enki, the wise benefactor of mankind. The Epic of Gilgamesh tells of a great flood, with gods deciding humanity's fate, echoing later biblical stories. The Sumerians believed humans were created from clay and divine blood to serve the Anunnaki, taking over the labor of the lesser gods, the Igigi. This origin story suggests we were made out of necessity, not love. The Anunnaki were feared, loved, and obeyed as literal lords of the land. Their hierarchy and direct involvement shaped the very order of civilization. The Sumerian texts paint a startling picture of humanity as a servant species, crafted for a purpose. Their legacy endures in the myths and questions they left behind. For centuries, Sumerian tales were seen as myth, until Zecharia Sitchin's radical theory in 1976. Sitchin argued the Anunnaki were not gods, but extraterrestrials from a planet called Nibiru, visiting Earth every 3,600 years. He claimed they came seeking gold to repair their atmosphere, establishing mining operations in Mesopotamia. When their own workers, the Igigi, rebelled, the Anunnaki created humans by mixing their DNA with early hominids, making us a slave species. Sitchin's theory directly explains Sumerian texts describing humanity's creation to serve the gods. Mainstream scholars reject his translations and the existence of Nibiru, calling his work speculative. Yet, Sitchin's ideas have captivated millions, tapping into a sense that our history holds hidden truths. The scientific community finds no evidence for Nibiru or alien intervention, but the allure of the theory persists. Are these stories misunderstood symbolism, or do they hint at a forgotten chapter in our past? The debate continues, fueled by our desire to know if we are alone. Sitchin's vision challenges us to look beyond accepted history. The Anunnaki, whether gods or visitors, remain at the heart of our greatest mysteries. Their story invites us to question everything we think we know about our origins. Stories of sky gods are found worldwide, not just in Sumer. In Egypt, gods like Ra and Thoth came from the stars, bringing civilization. The Maya worshipped Kukulkan, a feathered serpent from the sea who taught astronomy and agriculture. In the Andes, Viracocha emerged from Lake Titicaca, taught civilization, then vanished across the ocean. The Dogon of Mali knew about Sirius B, an invisible star, and spoke of amphibious beings from the sky. Ancient Indian texts describe Vimanas, flying craft used by the gods. Are these independent myths or echoes of a shared global event? The consistency of these stories across cultures demands our attention. Beyond stories, what does archaeology reveal? Sumer's ziggurats, massive, precise pyramids, dominated their cities, officially temples, but their scale raises questions. Some theorists suggest they were more than temples, perhaps launch platforms for skycraft. Sumerian tombs yielded thousands of gold artifacts, crafted with skill that seems advanced for their era. If Sitchin is right, this gold was not just for decoration, but the Anunnaki's true purpose. Star maps and cylinder seals depict unknown planets and figures with what look like modern devices. The so-called Baghdad battery hints at ancient experimentation with electricity. Sumerians mastered metallurgy, astronomy and medicine far ahead of their time. These artifacts are puzzle pieces, hinting at a lost chapter in human history. The evidence is incomplete, but the questions remain. Did the Sumerians inherit knowledge from elsewhere? The archaeological record challenges us to look deeper. The name Anunnaki itself is a clue. An means heaven, Ki means earth. Mainstream scholars translate it as princely offspring, fitting a royal pantheon. Alternative theorists like Sitchin read it as those who from heaven to earth came, suggesting literal visitors. This debate over language shapes the ancient astronaut theory. Other Sumerian terms add to the mystery. Dingir, a star-shaped symbol, means God but also star. Shem, translated as name in the Bible, may have meant sky vehicle or rocket. Cylinder seals show conical objects, interpreted by some as ancient spacecraft. Language is fluid. Meanings can be both literal and symbolic. To the Sumerians, a being from the sky was by definition a god. The line between God and alien may be a modern distinction. For the ancients, the Anunnaki were both royals from the stars, gods who came to earth. Their words invite us to reconsider what we think we know. The truth may lie in the space between myth and reality. Sumerian texts claim humanity was created by the gods, mixing Earth's clay with divine essence. Once seen as symbolic, this story now raises questions in the age of genetics. Could our DNA hold a signature from our creators? Modern science finds no evidence of non-terrestrial genes. Our evolution appears earthly. Yet mysteries remain. Junk DNA, the sudden rise of Homo sapiens, and unique genes with no clear predecessors. Some theorize these could be remnants of a genetic upgrade. If advanced beings modified us, the evidence would be subtle, perhaps indistinguishable from natural evolution. The Sumerian story of mixing divine blood with clay sounds like a primitive description of genetic engineering. The evidence is elusive, but the question persists. Are we the product of chance or of design? The myth of Inanna's descent into the underworld is one of Sumer's most enigmatic tales. She passes through 7 gates, stripped of power, dies, and is resurrected after 3 days. Scholars see this as an allegory for the cycles of nature, death, and rebirth. But some propose a technological reading, the 7 gates as planetary checkpoints, her regalia as equipment shed during a space journey. Her death could be suspended animation, her rescue a revival mission. This transforms a spiritual allegory into a possible logbook of a celestial event. Did the Sumerians record a misunderstood technological process? The myth's layers invite us to look beyond the surface. Inanna's journey may be a window into ancient encounters with the unknown. The Anunnaki's legacy outlived Sumer, absorbed by Babylonians, Assyrians, and echoed in the Hebrew Bible. Stories of floods, divine kings, and cosmic creation reappear across cultures and eras. The tale of Utnapishtim's flood predates Noah's Ark. Sargon's river journey predates Moses. Even Genesis echoes Sumerian ideas of divine order. The Anunnaki now fuel modern ufology and ancient astronaut theories, challenging mainstream narratives. Their story persists because it touches our deepest questions. Who are we? Where did we come from? Myths of sky gods force us to confront our place in the universe. Whether gods, aliens, or symbols, the Anunnaki embody the ultimate mystery. They reflect our hopes and fears about our origins. Are we the masters of our destiny or shaped by forces beyond our understanding? As we gaze at the stars, we echo the Sumerians' unanswered question, who gave us the gift or burden of consciousness? The search for truth continues, written in the stars and in our own longing to know. The story of the Anunnaki is ultimately the story of us.